What's up YouTube? Thanks for joining me today. Typically, I don't really release videos on Wednesday, but we have a lot of juicy stuff to cover, so let's just dive right in. A couple of months ago, I put out a video regarding just a lot of rumors that were flying around on a potential touring model for the Lowrider S. Now, at the time, it was merely just speculation because we hadn't seen anything official come from Harley Davidson yet until today. Up until today, we were merely speculating from a grainy photo that we saw floating around on some forums on the internet. And from what it looked like a Lowrider S model with an FXRT fairing and some sport glide bags. And we were merely piecing together pieces of a puzzle from various sources, whether that was from the internet or from people that worked at dealers or from people who had spoken with somebody from Harley. And I've also actually had some people that work for Harley Davidson that told me that these rumors that were flying around were just not true. Today, I have a few things that I want to share that could potentially just confirm whether or not we were right about a possible touring model for the Lowrider S. I'll share with you what I found, and ultimately at the end, I think you have to be the judge as to what it all means. And I'll also share my sources at the end so that you can sign up as well. Alright, so without further ado, I'll play this video. Wow, that's just super exciting. At least it's super exciting for me. But at the same time, it's also so cryptic and also so mysterious. So in this video, we're just gonna break it down a little bit and try to piece together what the video is telling us and see if we can pick up any clues. All right, so what did we see in the video? Well, for starters, the most clear thing that I saw was that there's going to be a premiere on January 26th of 2022, so just a few weeks away. It's also paired with two words, faster, further. We also saw this retro Harley Davidson logo that looks like an exact copy of the logo that's found on the Lowrider S tank. So we'll pause there for a second. Okay, so it says faster and further. To me, that in and of itself is pretty telling. We speculated in the video that I made a few months ago that the Lowrider S would come with a bigger engine. A 117 engine would make the most sense to me, but I could see them very well going with a 128 or a 131 engine. We also saw in the video that they showed some glimpses of what it looked like to be the engine of the Lowrider S, which would make a lot of sense if they're alluding to speed and power, right? And I'd also like to just call out that it didn't look like a Revolution Max engine. It still looked like the Milwaukee 8 engine, which I'm personally excited about. So if they're coming out with a bigger engine on the Lowrider S, man, that is exciting. And that confirms the first point that we made in the previous video. So that takes care of that faster statement. So let's move on to the word further. What do they mean? My interpretation, it's pretty basic. It means distance. And when I think about distance, I think either a larger fuel tank, but to me, the most likely case in this scenario is the FXRT fairing that I alluded to in the previous video. The FXRT would definitely make it easier to cover distance, take the wind off your chest, to help prevent fatigue from the wind, to help you to cover longer distances when you're on the highway or going fast. That's what the FXRT is designed for. So that would all make sense to me. To me, this will be the most obvious pairing for the words further and faster when you couple it with what we talked about in the previous video about the FXRT fairing, the larger engine. So a few other things that I've picked up on this video is that we saw some sort of a grille cover. And I'm thinking if we're going along the lines of an FXRT fairing, it could be that there's an audio solution that's just coupled with the FXRT fairing. I immediately looked up some speakers on Harley Davidson website, and it's very possible that this picture, this cryptic picture on the video is some sort of a speaker grill. This would also make a lot of sense to me because I know that when people get the Lowrider S, one of the most popular add-ons is the Plex audio system. Now going back to the beginning of the video, I think this is where it gets a little bit murky, but I would make a guess to say that they're showing off some of the lines of the FXRT fairing, but it could also just be the lines of the bike. I can't really quite say, but if they're showing off this new touring model of the Lowrider S, it would make sense that they're showing off some of the lines of the FXRT fairing. I think this is pretty good evidence that we will in fact see a 2022 Lowrider S model, a touring model with an FXRT fairing and also the upgraded engine. Now what I didn't see in the video is any images that allude to possible sport glide bags or hard bags in general, which is a little bit disappointing, but I still think that it's going to be an option that's offered onto this touring model. We'll just have to wait and see if the hard bags are also included in this touring model, or at least an option to add on without incurring a whole lot of cost. Now, some people might actually say that this looks like the Sportster S. On closer inspection, I actually think it's closer to the Lowrider S tank decal or the logo, but I guess you could say they kind of look similar. But if you think about the words faster and further, faster doesn't make any sense because they already came out with the Sportster S, which is supposed to be the top of the line, to me, which means that it has the most power, it has the most torque. So it doesn't make sense that they would come out with another Sportster model that beats the Sportster S. It just doesn't quite add up for me. Also, the engine that they showed in the video doesn't look anything like a Revolution Max engine. To me, I think we can eliminate the Sportster as to what Harley is alluding to. I definitely think this is the Lowrider S. Either way, I'm super excited. I've signed up for the world premiere event, and I'd also encourage you to do it. If you click on the description of this video, I'll include a link to where you can sign up, to where you can be updated on the event. And while you're down there, go ahead and click the like button, go ahead and click the subscribe button if you're not a subscriber, because we're going to be covering this kind of stuff all year next year. That's it for today's video. I hope you all enjoyed it, and I'll see you all in the next video. Peace.